Welcome back to Final Fantasy. I finished the Naval, which was another fight with Titan. It was Titan hard, and so that opened up this quest line so I can continue on. I am most eager to address the Asian threat. However, we dare not neglect our other pressing concerns. We both know full well that Saint Shiva will not be the last primal we face, and our relationship with Ishgard is tenuous at best. To think that the resolution of the primal threat was once the sole priority of the scions of the Seventh Dawn. Some days I wonder if it is wise for us to take on so many other responsibilities. Lest you forget, Antecedent, the scions need not shoulder the burden alone. Were not the Crystal Braves established for this very reason? True, we are presented with a multitude of problems. However, we have all the resources we need to address them in turn. Roland in particular is ever a steadying hand, who I trust will continue to support the Braves. To what do we owe the pleasure? Have there been further developments regarding the situation in Ul'dah? As expected, the Immortal Flames have been struggling to cope with the revelation that one of their highest-ranking officers was a Garlean agent. Suffice it to say, Teleji Adeleji and his monetarist ilk have wasted no time in attempting to turn the situation to their advantage. Coupled with ongoing unrest, the Flames are finding themselves hard-pressed. Plainly, General Raban needs our help, and I will direct the Crystal Braves to offer what support they can. If I am to stay abreast of the latest developments and issue effective orders, however, I cannot afford to waste time traveling back and forth. And so, for the unforeseeable future, I think it would be for the best if I were to remain in Ul'dah, unless you have an objection. Oh, none whatsoever. We have matters here well in hand. Moonbreeda's research is proceeding as planned? So she tells me, though I'm not familiar with the details. Urianger is poring over his tomes at the Waking Sands, and the others are contributing in their own ways. Alas, the key problem, how to form an ethereal blade at will, remains unsolved. Nevertheless, it's only a matter of time. Roland, while we focus on that task, mayhap you could assist Alphinaud and his Braves with theirs. It would do much to restore faith in the Immortal Flames if the Warrior of Light was seen working on their behalf. Never forget that your esteemed status allows you to act in ways that those more tightly bound to organizations and nations cannot. As ever, I implore you to do so. Not that your response was ever in doubt, but I humbly thank you once more for aiding our cause. Now then, there are preparations I must attend to before departure, such as receiving Riol's latest report. He has proven to be quite skilled at gathering information others wish kept secret, hence why I placed him under my direct command and ordered him to investigate the Uldun riots. When you're finished here, just join me outside. Depending on what he has to say, I may soon have a favor to ask. If there are any developments on our front, I shall inform you at once in the usual fashion. And we're off, doing everybody else's work for them. Pleasure's always, Roland. You'll be escorting the commander to Ul'dah, I take it. Actually, I had another task in mind for him. If you would be so kind as to repeat your report for his benefit. Well, right then. Me and mine have been making inquiries into the source of the weapons what found their way into the refugee hands a ways back. So happens we caught wind of something promising, a rather large purchase of sharp and pointy things by a black marketeer holed up near High Bridge. I doubt that this man would have secured such a quantity of weapons if he did not already have clients awaiting, clients that, for whatever reason, would prefer for this transaction to remain a secret. Brings to mind that merchant what caught an arrow while talking to Roland, don't it? Generous fellow he was, doling out swords and spears to the downtrodden and disgruntled. Which isn't to say that these clients have had the same mischief in mind, but if you want to be sure, might be prudent to intervene before they collect their goods. Savvy? Seizing the weapons before they fall into the wrong hands would be for the best. However, if we strike at the appointed hour, we might capture the black marketeer as well as his clients. What do you say, Roland? Then it's settled. Rendezvous with Captain Ilberd in High Bridge and intervene when the exchange takes place. Now then, if you would excuse me, I must leave for Ul'dah. I expect good tidings. Okie dokie, we're off to High Bridge. Ah, Roland. My scouts have been keeping a close eye on the black marketeer, and it would seem that his guests have arrived. It would also seem that he has hired more than a few men to stand guard. Common thugs of no consequence, but they nevertheless pose a threat. Even so, I feel compelled to apologize. This is far beneath a man of your standing, and Commander Levalier needn't have dispatched you hither. But powerful men ever have need of loyal, able-bodied friends. Having found one in you, 'tis only natural that he would come to rely upon you without hesitation. Now then, we should make for the burning wall without delay and secure those weapons. The first unit will ensure that clients do not escape. With me, Roland. Well, it might be just me, but his statements kind of sound like he doesn't want me here. I don't trust that guy, I never have. I spy the one man, but there are sure to be others. I've a plan. While you approach the sentry and create a distraction, my men and I will slip past and catch the black marketeer unaware. Once you've disposed of the thugs, wait for us outside the tunnel entrance. Any questions? Then let's be off. Good luck, my friend. Yeah, why does he want me to wait outside the cave? Hey, thug. Who goes there? An adventurer? Damn fool. You'd have never have come. that guy come from? Oh, they just keep coming. All right, I guess our job is done. Now we just wait at the tunnel's entrance. But where was the tunnel? Up ahead. Is it down there? It is. I don't understand. What's this all about? Ah! The hell was that? As you can see, this is a fine mess. When I tried to restrain him, he drew a hidden blade and lashed out. But before I could disarm him, one of my subordinates panicked, and this is the result. How foolish of me to underestimate the bastard, and to bring an inexperienced recruit. Commander Levelier will be most disappointed. Damn it all, a golden opportunity wasted. As for the clients, though we know not how, they slip past our perimeter. At present, the first is currently tracking a party of dusk-white sellswords we suspect may be them. Would that we could have enlisted the aid of the immortal flames or the brass blades. Alas, we're here to aid them. They're in no position to aid us. Well, at the very least, we have secured the weapons, yet even that accomplishment is lacking, for the information we received indicated a massive shipment, and this is anything but. This is very suspicious. From the conversation we heard outside the cave, it sounded like this guy was more surprised than he was afraid. I'll join the first in their hunt for the dusk-white sellswords. If the gods are good, we will catch them before they escape into the Black Shroud. In the meantime, I ask that you deliver these weapons to Ulda in my stead. Entrust them to the third's Uihas. He will take care of the rest. Well, we don't have any proof of anything, just suspicion, so I guess we carry on. Ah, the Warrior of Light, ever reliable friend to the Crystal Braves. You have my deepest thanks for your assistance in Corthus. Now, what brings you to us this day? Weapons. A gift of weapons from a certain black marketeer, courtesy of Captain Ilberd. Understood. Once we've cataloged the contents, I'll have them delivered to the Hall of Flames. This cannot be everything, can it? Riel stated with confidence that there would be far greater quantity of weapons. A blatant falsehood. Clearly, Riel is unfamiliar with the ways of Ulden merchants, who ever strive to present themselves as greater than they are. We should be thankful that this information was not completely erroneous, and that we managed to achieve anything of worth at all. It's still something worth celebrating, isn't it, Lieutenant? Besides, we've got more important things to worry about, like fighting those Garleans up north. There'll be no fighting if I have anything to say about it. Our orders are to stand watch, not to seek glory in battle. If you have no further need of us, then I shall take my unit to the cerulean processing plant. Time for the Fourth to earn their keep, eh? Well, fight well, Aileen, for the freedom of all. Excellent work as always, my friend. Rest assured that the immortal flames will hear of your contribution until we meet again. Roland, a word if you please. Not here. Look for me at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. No need for whistling this time. Don't you worry. That's a reference to the first time we met Riel, where we had to go into that camp and whistle, because we hadn't met him yet. So, all right, let's go see what he's got to say. He said there was going to be a lot more weapons. This all seems a bit odd, like it was a setup. Thanks for indulging my request. Few places better than a market for privacy, I find. All the hustle and all the bustle and commerce means most conversations go unnoticed. I'll get to the point. At the burning wall, when you and the captain interrupted the exchange, what happened? Tell me everything. Leave no detail out. That's not quite how the first told it. These dusk whites they were chasing. Latest word is that we lost the trail. You never saw them yourself, did you? Not before the fighting started and not after. Something ain't right. I don't know what it is, but I can feel it in my bones. I'm not daft enough to be misled by some merchant's drunken boasts. Our information was reliable. I know he purchased those weapons. As if I've never deciphered a moneylender's books or had to follow a transaction back to its source. Did plenty of that back when the Braves were getting started. Believe me, the commander wanted assurance that we weren't taking Gil from the wrong sort of benefactors. Of course, these days, the money flows like water, and the first and the third get the shiniest new toys. Forgive me, friend. I've a lot on my mind these days, and I appreciate you lending me an ear. Right? Then let's best be back to it. Roland, can you hear me? This is Tataru. Your presence is urgently requested at the Rising Stones. Please come and see me as soon as you are able. What's up, girl? Thank you for coming so quickly, Roland. We've a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. A most determined lady, by all indications. Our guest is in with the antecedent in the solar. Let's not keep him waiting any longer, shall we?
We have a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. I believe the two of you have met.
We have. I had hoped to speak with Commander Leveilleur as well, but I cannot afford to wait any longer. The Lord Commander sent me hither to request your aid in a matter of grave import.
You see now why I had Tataru summon you.
Now that we're all assembled, perhaps you would be good enough to elaborate on the nature of the matter which brought you to us.
The Observatorium's astrologians have sounded the alarm. Last night, the Dragonstar burned with an intensity not seen in 15 summers. Not since the Dravanians engaged the Empire in the Battle of Silvertear Skies.
The northern sky doth burn full bright upon the Wormlord's call. The red behemoth beckoneth, and flame consumeth all.
The old Curthan rhyme, aye. The brightening of the Dragonstar is said to accompany the roar of a great worm. The astrologians believe that it was Midgard-Soma himself who cried out on this occasion.
After an absence of centuries, the King of Kings did return to lead his kind against the might of Garlemald, only to fall in his duel with the Agrius, proud flagship of the Garlean fleet. Devoid of life, his corpse remaineth entwined about the Magitech monstrosity even unto this day.
Ariange has the right of it. Whatever this alteration in the Dragonstar portends, the Great Worm has shown no sign of life. Tataru, have the Domans reported aught out of the ordinary?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if Midgard-Soma had roared, wouldn't we have heard it here in Revenant's Toll?
Roar is but a figure of speech. Dravanians can communicate in ways beyond our ken. It is for this very reason that we are forced to look for signs in the heavens. We cannot say with any confidence that a great worm roared at all, much less that it was Midgard-Soma. Only by directly examining the Keeper of the Lake can we be certain. However, it will take too long to gain the Holy See's approval to dispatch the Temple Knights. Therefore, Sir Emric would entrust this task to you. Do you accept? We knew you would not disappoint us. Now, if you would excuse me, I must return and assist the Lord Commander. We have precious little time to prepare.
To prepare for what, pray tell?
When a great worm roars, his brethren cannot choose but answer. We prepare for battle.
Ooh, a dragon fight, huh? Forgive me if I state aught which you already know, but I would ensure that you understand the nature of your destination. As Urianger stated, what we now call the Keeper of the Lake is the wreckage of the Agrius, former flagship of the Imperial fleet, and the corpse of the worm responsible for its destruction. 15 years ago, as the next step in his campaign to subjugate Erosia, Gaius Van Belzar attempted to seize control of Mordona. So massive was his force that all thought his victory a foregone conclusion. But an unlikely ally came to Erosia's aid that day. Midgard-Soma, legendary guardian of Silvertear Falls, burst forth from beneath the waters of the lake and led a host of dragons against a Garlean airship overhead. In what would later become known as the Battle of Silvertear Skies, the Great Worm felled countless airships before engaging the Agrius. In the ensuing struggle, the flagship's Cerulean engines failed and it tumbled into the lake below. Yet this victory came at a great cost, for the explosion which followed claimed the life of the Great Worm as well. That same explosion transformed Silvertear Falls into the desolate wasteland it is today, draining the lake of its waters and crystallizing aether for malms around. In accordance with Sir Emmerich's wishes, our domain allies have been standing watch over the Keeper of the Lake. It would be wise to speak with them before investigating the wreckage yourself. Be careful, my friend. We know not what dangers await you within. Now then, let us not neglect our own tasks. There is much to be done, and precious little time to do it. All right, sounds like a fight coming up. You're in luck, sir. I was about to send word to Reverend Toll about the Garleans. Of late, I've seen small airships, likely from Castrum Sentry, come and go from the Keeper of the Lake. Though I cannot say for certain at this distance, I believe they may be salvaging something from within the wreckage. The Castrum supply lines have been cut for some time, and I'd wager they're desperately in need of spare parts and other equipment. So, it's true then. The Asgardians honestly fear that the worm might rise again? Well, from here that seems rather unlikely, but if it's assurance they want, you've no choice but go to inspect the corpse in its entirety. Easier said than done, given the creatures which inhabit the wreckage, and the aforementioned Garleans who won't take kindly to your presence. They're sure to fire upon an airship, so I'd advise a more stealthy approach. Take this boat and a few of your comrades to the base of the Agrius, then climb to the top. That's the only viable approach, I'd say. All right. Looks like a dungeon.
Who treadeth now upon my bones, and waketh me from slumber sweet? Remember, mortal, and fear me. By her gifts hast thou earned a moment's reprieve.
Well, I guess he's not dead.
Speak, mortal, and I shall listen. Guided by a star. My people have heard the song. Ishgard shall burn. Sons must answer for their father's misdeeds. We do not forget. We do not forgive. 7 children did I sire. One now singeth of retribution. I rise to join in the chorus. Thou art powerless to silence us, mortal. Yet thou shalt not live to labor in vain. Thy reprieve is at an end.
This doesn't sound good. Was he gonna kill me?
Trickery is thy shield. This frail, ignoble creature is not gifted, but chosen. Hearken to me, Hydaelyn. I remember, and I consent. Fear not, mortal. I shall not harm thee.
He took our power and our protection.
Mayhap thou thinkest me an oath breaker. Thou art mistaken. If thou comest to harm, it shall be by another's hand, not mine. I did but strip thee of thy mistress's feeble blessing. Thou didst profit much by her grace, but no more. The covenant binds me to thee. I shall watch, listen, and wait.
So we're bound to the dragon now.
Fight and struggle, if it be thy will. Man hath ever coveted that which lieth beyond his grasp. I drink of her body, and thence doth mine own find new life. When it hath grown whole, the loyal and penitent shall rejoice. The dragon song heraldeth our beginning and an end.
Well, I guess that battle's over. I was beginning to fear the worst. Were those explosions I saw? Ah, but you shouldn't waste time talking with me. Alphanod left a message stating that you were to return to the Rising Stones at once. Praise the 12 that you're hale and whole. I came as soon as Minfilia informed me of Sir Emmerich's request. You have completed your investigation of the Keeper of the Lake, I take it. Then I would hear your report. Well, who made you the boss? You conversed with Midgardsormr? I swear, were anyone else to make such a claim, I would regard it with considerable skepticism. Are we to understand that the Worm Lord did not perish, and has in sooth lain dormant these past 15 years? Less a resurrection and more a rejuvenation for he who dwelleth in eternity, years passing as moments. Though his words were ambiguous at times, one statement left little room for interpretation. My people have heard the song, Ishgard shall burn. Clearly, an attack is imminent. We must share this information with Sir Emmerich immediately. However, we dare not divulge your conversation with Midgardsormr in its entirety. To even acknowledge that you heard the voice of a Dwarvian is a grave but necessary risk. Lest we forget, men have been executed as heretics for declaring as much. For your own protection, and for the sake of our tenuous relations with Ishgard, the truth cannot leave this room. As for how we shall present our revelation to Sir Emmerich's emissary, you may leave that to me. Pray remain here for now. Is there something you are not telling us, Roland? You seem different somehow. 'Tis almost as if you're missing something important. For Fend. Midgardsormr stripped you of the blessing of light? Are you all right? How do you feel? I see. It is a relief to hear that you are otherwise unharmed. It beggeth belief that any being could possess the power to deprive you of her blessing. Midgardsormr made mention of a covenant, did he not? One of the ancient myths regarding Silvertear Falls states that when the waters come into existence, so too did the great worm. Brother Time and Sister Fate decreed that Midgardsormr ever watch over the source, from which all water and magic was said to flow. I wonder if this was the covenant of which he spoke, and 'twas not the gods with whom he treated, but Hydaelyn herself. Well, if he's watching over you as he claimed, mayhap you will have an opportunity to ask. Let us keep this matter to ourselves. I do not wish to burden our friends needlessly. Art thou a pawn or master of thy fate? What hast thou wrought by thine own hands, mortal?
My friend, I can scarce believe it. You confronted the Worm Lord and lived to tell the tale. I give thanks to Helone for your preservation. It is our sole cause for gladness. Your encounter with the Keeper of the Lake served to confirm our fears. A great worm has roared, and it makes little difference if it was one of the two in Eorzea or any other. The Dravanians are coming.
I am told that Ishgard has magical defenses against Dravanian attack, though I am not privy to their exact nature. Will they be enough to repel a massive force?
Ishgard has weathered countless assaults over centuries. This will be no different. And now that you have confirmed the threat, none can ignore the Lord Commander's calls for the wards to be strengthened. I dare not presume to speak for him, but I expect the Lord Commander would sing your praises. I must away, but we shall meet again soon.
Countless assaults weathered, and this will be no different? Why am I not convinced?